Hey guys, it's Lily reporting from Rhode Island Comic Con here in Providence. I'm sitting here with Bob Camp.
Hello.
Animator, illustrator extraordinaire, storyboard artist, comic artist, writer, director, jack of all trades. He's famous for works Ren and Stimpy behind us, as you can also see here. G.I. Joe, Conan the Barbarian, some of my personal favorites from Cartoon Network. I Am Weasel, Cow and Chicken, love those. The Cartoon Show. How are you enjoying the con?
I'm having a good time, yeah.
Awesome. Can you talk to us a little bit about your education in art, where you went to school, for example, and if your goal's always been to work in comics and work in animation?
I'm pretty much self-educated. I took art in high school, which was a disaster. My teacher was kind of cruel and sort of more artsy-craftsy, and I just wanted to draw and do pen and ink, and so we didn't get along, and I got D's. Then in college, I took some art courses, and after like half a semester, I realized that it was a waste of my time, so I quit and switched over to film. I studied film there at University of Texas at Arlington, and at some point I jumped ship on that, and I just started making a living full-time doing cartoons. I was a caricature artist, portrait artist, worked at Six Flags, worked at a lot of amusement parks, traveled around. I had a VW bus that I lived in for a while with my dog, and followed the rodeo circuit, did sort of living like a carny, and it was great. It was a fun lifestyle. It was great. And then I met up with a cartoonist on Cape Cod in Provincetown, a guy named Gary Hallgren, a really great cartoonist, caricature artist. And he said, "Look, you should go to New York. You can get work at Marvel Comics." So he introduced me to Larry Hama, and I started doing movie parodies for Crazy Magazine. Before long, I was working in the Marvel bullpen, doing art corrections, doing covers, pinups, doing a lot of inking, doing some penciling, working on a lot of Marvel titles. Then about mid-'80s, I got a job working on Thundercats, the animated series, doing character designs. Worked at Rankin Bass for a while. Well, you're getting a bunch here, right? I did character designs and background designs for everything on for Rankin Bass: Thundercats, Silverhawks, Tiger Sharks, Mini Monsters, Street Frogs, and Karate Cat. That's a lot of shows. So then I moved out to LA, and I've been pretty much in animation ever since, doing directing, storyboards for TV and films, things like that.
Is there any area that you prefer to work in? What's your favorite, preferred kind of method?
I like this. This is nice. What's nice about this is I get to meet the fans, talk about the show. I do sketches. We have prints, things like that. And it's a way for me to connect directly with people, because in film and TV, there's this disconnect. You do your thing, and it goes on TV or whatever your device is, and you're not connecting directly with the people. But here, I'm doing artwork for people, handing it to them, and getting their instant response to getting some original art. And that's like theater. It's the difference between theater and film.
Drawing from that and kind of piggybacking off of what you just said about loving meeting the fans and loving doing commission work for people who really appreciate what you do, how do you think your work has kind of, or your approach to your work has kind of changed over the course of time, from print media to very digital media, because you work across the board?
It changes constantly. Change is the only thing you can count on. And you got to be flexible. I mean, when I started working in animation, there was one way to do a cartoon, and now there's 1,000 ways to do a cartoon. And the productions are all over the world, and the delivery process is different. The pipelines, the software, all that. It's more digital, less hand-done work, and people are watching it on their phone, so it's a different format. So there's a lot of different aspects to that. So it's confusing and all over the place. And if if you blink an eye or don't pay attention, you just get left out, because suddenly everything's changed and you don't know. I think that a lot of people in not just animation, but in comics and television, they're scrambling to try to find a way to stay pertinent, to make a living, and what's happened, I think, is that computers and the internet and all that, thanks to Napster and stuff like that, it makes it really easy to steal stuff, and so people aren't paying for their art or their music anymore. They just take it and they feel like they're entitled. So it's harder for artists to make a living. I know a lot of people doing comic books that aren't making any more today than they were in the late 80s, so.
I can imagine so. I know a few of them myself. I guess my next question would be, what do you think is the most challenging part of breaking into the comics industry?
Well, the most challenging thing is that it's impossible. It's same with animation. You just can't. The odds of getting in are remarkably stacked against you, unless you're just the most amazing guy to come along and blowing people's minds.
Like you.
Forget it. No, but I'm just saying that if you have, run-of-the-mill talent or not amazing talent, or even if you're just not good at selling yourself, it's very difficult. It's really hard to do. My recommendation to everyone is, if you want to make comic books, don't even think about Marvel or DC or Image or any of those guys. Just make a comic book, and do your crowdfunding, raise money however you can, get together with your funny, talented friends, and just do it. Make a comic book, make a cartoon. Mike Judge, who made Beavis and Butthead, he didn't wait for permission to make that. If he had, he would have never done it. He just made a cartoon, and the people came to him. Same with Matt and Trey with South Park. They just made a cartoon. I think they made it on Super 8 film. With cut out pieces of paper for 11
bucks. Paper.
Yeah. So and now they're kings of the industry.
A really important one. This was for our CEO. Justin really wanted to know he's a kind of an art history nerd. He wanted to know if there's anything from art history that you find particularly inspiring in your work process.
I think all of it. When I was a kid, I used to take the bus to the art museums in the town I lived in, Fort Worth. There's a great bunch of art museums there. And I'd bring my sketch pad and I'd go around and I would copy the paintings. Now, I didn't know that it would be helpful, but I suspected it would be, because I knew that if I looked at a car and I drew it, the next day I could draw it from memory. So I figured there was some kind of recording going on. So I figured if I copied paintings, I'd own a piece of them. I teach storyboarding for film and TV at the School of Visual Arts in New York, and my students have to carry around a sketchbook with them. And I say, if you sit down for 5 minutes, draw what you're looking at. If you go into the zoo, draw the animals. If you go into the park, draw the people. Draw everything, because everything you draw is going in through your hand, through your muscle memory, into your brain, and it becomes a part of you. So art history is really important. I think history in general is really important. I think if people paid more attention to it, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in now. Having said that, art history is important. Art in general is important. And, if you want to be a comic book artist, don't just look at comic books, because then your stuff is only going to be a copy of Neil Adams or somebody like that. If you want to be a really great comic artist, study art, study painting, study literature, study sculpture, all that kind of stuff, because that's going to enrich you in your art. It's going to give you a wider range of colors in your artistic spectrum. So yeah, you got to embrace it.
Absolutely. And as a professor of the arts, you can already imagine, I'm sure, how expensive art school is for a lot of people. For those artists or aspiring artists who can't afford to go to art schools, what do you recommend? What route do you recommend as a self-made artist?
Look, I didn't go to art school. I taught myself. Be a sponge. Pay attention. Pinterest. If you don't know about Pinterest, check it out. It's a really great social art network with millions and millions of posts about cool artwork, cool drawing techniques. There's everything you could want. You can do searches, and if you just sit there and think about what to look for and go from link to link to link, you can find amazing drawing tips. And just study it, do it, copy it, learn it. Practice. When you get up in the morning, sit down and just fill 4 or 5 pages with sketches. It doesn't matter what they are. Just to get the blood flowing, get your fingers working, get the synapses firing. And just make drawing a habit, and put your fucking phone down. Put your fucking phone down. It's all it is a trap. It's a trap, and it keeps you from thinking. It just makes you an observer, and you're getting fed memes, and you're getting fed bullshit from the fake news groups, and they're getting the wrong people elected president, So don't pay any attention to that. Talk to people. Live in the real world. If you want to communicate with people, go look into their eyes, connect with their soul. Don't put the phone down. If you want to be an artist, put the phone down. Draw. Have fun.
Yeah, thank you. It's all about fun. Comes to art and comics. Hard work, but fun too. Now, kind of drawing from, I guess, Ren and Stimpy, which is one of my favorite works of yours. One of the things I've been the most curious about is how you, I guess, your artistic process with the 2 characters. And when I was a kid, I remember watching Ren and Stimpy and not understanding a lot of the innuendos and a lot of the filth. I loved it. Yeah, of course. Do you ever feel like maybe this is too much for kids, or are you like, no, kids should definitely be watching this?
Look. The idea of hovering over kids and protecting them from life it's stupid, it's counterproductive, and it leaves them vulnerable, okay? That's why some people, when they hear a kid coughing, they pick up their baby and go set them next to the other kid. So they'll get that germ, and then they'll build up their own natural immunity systems. It's the same with life. If you keep your kids hidden from humor or comedy or new ways of thinking, you're dooming them to a life of unhappiness, and the rejection of new ways of thinking or ways that are challenging or maybe not politically correct. It stifles the creative process, it stifles learning, and it fucks everything up. So, I figure if a kid watches a cartoon and they see something that maybe isn't appropriate, but it's funny, and they get a laugh out of it, and they get the joke, he's entitled to it, she's entitled to it. If the kid's already sophisticated enough to understand innuendo, good for him. Get it. We got another funny person. So I don't even pay lip service to that shit. It's like I'm in the animation business. You pitch shows to people, and they say, well, we're looking for content for kids 6 to 11 years old. I'm like, well, that's stupid. I knew a 7-year-old kid who wrote epic poetry. I know 22-year-olds who can't spell their own name or can't divide. Well, I can't divide either, but you can't pigeonhole groups of people. You have to make entertainment and material open for everybody. If somebody's offended, go away. Sure, we're not going to show hardcore porn to kids. Yeah, why would you want to do that? But if you have the internet, your kids are watching it anyway. And if you don't think they are, you're stupid. So I think you gotta, what's more important than censoring is to teach your kids to have objective, educated, knowledgeable points of view based on observation and based on the ability to know if somebody's bullshitting them or not, and not to make their own choices, make them stronger, make them more knowledgeable people with armor against bullshit. I think if more people today had good bullshit censors, we wouldn't be in the situation we are politically today.
I completely agree.
Yeah, so no more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No more bullshit. You heard it first here at Rhode Island Comic Con. I'm sitting with Bob Camp. Bob, do you have anything to say to the folks that you want to say personally? Any messages aside from normal bullshit?
Okay. If any artists are out there, I want you to understand that as an artist, it's always important and absolutely essential that you be 100% honest always, because everything that's wrong in the world today is because of dishonesty and greed. And if artists make a commitment to always be honest, and whatever they do with their art, however it speaks to people, however it communicates, it be honest and from the heart. And I mean that because it's up to us now.
I'm Lily reporting from Rhode Island Comic Con in Providence. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, social media, Instagram, Twitter, definitely Twitter, and our website at comicsverse.com.